That's right. Go ahead.
Hi, Eleanor. How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm Leisha. I'm the nurse practitioner who's going to be taking care of you. Um, so what brings you in today?
Well, my doctor sent me here because I'm having a lot of trouble with my nerves. I'm just exhausted. I'm full of worry. I've actually been to the emergency room several times this year because I'm so tired and so nervous that I think something's going to happen to me, and they say there's nothing wrong with me. So he thought if I came and maybe talked to you, we could sort out what's going on with me.
Okay. Um, it was good that your doctor sent you here. So tell me a little bit about you.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Tell me a little about me.
Yeah.
I'm just a nervous person. I'm a worrier. I worry about everything, and I've been like this my whole life. Like 30 years ago, when I went to my old doctor, he told me that I was a worrier and I needed to take medicine. So ever since then, I've taken 3 pills a day and to help me with my worrying. But not even that is helping me anymore. And I'm not even sure that this exhaustion and these feelings are related to my worrying. I don't know.
Okay. So tell me more about you. Tell me about your family and what do you do for hobbies and such?
Well, I don't work anymore. I used to work in the library um, as an assistant, but I've retired many years ago. I have 3 children, 1 daughter and 2 sons, and they're all grown and they have their own families. And I live with my husband, and he's retired, um, and our dogs. And we have a quiet life, a pretty even life. You know, financially, we're all set. We're not wealthy people, but we don't have to worry about money. And um, for hobbies, um, I like to go. I go to church every Sunday with my husband. I visit the senior center. We have a very active senior center, and I take craft classes, and I take a chair yoga class. Um, and then, of course, I keep in touch with my children, and I garden. I have a big garden, and I like to garden. I have vegetables and flowers. So, and walk my dogs. That pretty much fills my life.
Okay. Tell me, how's your relationship with your husband?
Well, it's good. We've been married for 50 years, and it's good. I mean, we're very comfortable together. We're very used to each other. He gets frustrated with me and doesn't understand why I worry so much, but I just do. I don't know what to do about it. But he's a good man. He's a good husband. He's kind, and he's been a good provider to me and the children.
Okay. How long do you think you've been a worrier?
Probably my whole life. My mother would instill in me to worry about everything. Be careful of people, be careful of strangers, don't lose things. And then just my whole life I worried. I think I really started to worry after I had my first child. I started to worry. I think I first started to worry when I found out I was pregnant. Is the baby going to be okay? And then is my baby going to sleep through the night? Is anything bad going to happen to it? Is anybody going to snatch my baby? And if something I worry about is resolved, I find something else to worry about.
Okay.
I worry about everything.
And how does that affect you?
Um, well, sometimes I don't have much of an appetite, but I mean, you can see that I'm not starving. And it bothers my sleep. I wake up during the night, and I have a hard time falling back to sleep. Um, and I just find that sometimes I can't focus on what I'm doing. My mind wanders to whatever it is I'm worrying about.
Okay. Are there things that you do to help when you're so overly worried?
Um, I Well, I try not to worry, and the doctor put me on medication 30 years ago, and I take that, and that used to really help me kind of calm down, but it doesn't seem to work anymore. Um, I say my prayers. I talk to my husband. Um, I try to stay busy at the senior center. I when I'm in my garden, I relax. So I guess those things kind of help me, but still my mind always comes back to whatever it is I'm concerned about.
Okay. When do you feel like the worrying got worse? You've been on the medicine for a long time. Did it help you initially?
It did help me initially, but as of just recently, my daughter called me and told me that my grandson is on drugs. He's taking heroin.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And she told me because he comes to my house a lot and wants to sleep over, which I would let him, but I didn't understand why he wasn't staying in his own house, and because he wants money. So my daughter told me that that I can't give him any money and I shouldn't let him stay over, which is very hard for me because he's going to use the money to buy drugs. But I don't know, maybe he's going to use the money to buy food. But she told me to offer him food and things, but to make sure that we don't give him any money and to be careful that he might steal, and to put my pills that I take to relax, in a safe place because he might even take those.
That was very good advice from your daughter. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, because you do need to keep yourself safe and your household safe.
Mhm.
And that's a scary, scary thing. I understand that. So, what do you do to help when you're worrying about your grandsons, especially? Do you call your daughter? What do you do?
I do. I used to call her when I first found out, but I think that upsets her.
Okay.
And so I talked to my husband, and he says, "Oh, don't worry. It's a phase. Kids these days do stuff like that." And so I look online. We have a computer, and I read about it, and it's so scary. And so many children are dying, and um, I don't. I just can't get it off my mind.
Mhm, mhm. Um, well, this is definitely understandable. So, have you had bad anxiety in the past over certain things? I know you said over the birth of your child. How did you get through that?
Well, I would be okay. Like I would think, oh no, when I go in the morning, is the baby going to die from SIDS or something like that? But then after a while, I realized that that wasn't going to happen, and there wasn't anything I could do to stop it. And so, just when I learn about something that could be a problem, I get very nervous about it. But I know that my grandson, it's not something I'm imagining. He's really in danger. He's really at risk, and it's not my imagination. It's a real worry, and I'm afraid he's going to die.
Okay. Um, but I do agree with your daughter in order to keep you safe, keep your medications locked up because it could be dangerous for you to have to stop taking that medicine suddenly.
Okay.
So, when you're taking your medicine, it's 3 times a day, is that right?
Yes,
And
that's right.
that's as needed.
Hmm.
So, how often do you think you need 3 a day?
I would say I need 3 a day. Lately, every day I take 3 a day.
Okay.
In the past, I used to maybe take one because sometimes it makes me a little tired. Sometimes I would take two, but now I need those three, and that doesn't even seem to be doing it.
Okay. Okay. Um, so have you ever been in therapy before?
No, never.
Okay. What brought you here? What made you come?
Well, I would tell my doctor that this was bothering me and I was nervous, and he said that all he could do for me was continue to give me the prescription for the pills that calm me down, but he said he felt I needed to talk to somebody and that they would help me sort it out, and that I needed an expert on different types of medicines that he doesn't prescribe. So he suggested I come to you.
Okay. Okay. How do you feel about being here?
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little embarrassed to tell you about my grandson. I'm embarrassed to tell you about my worrying. You know, I want people to think I'm strong and I come from a good family. So I'm a little bit nervous, and I just hope that you don't tell anybody else. And I hope that talking about all this doesn't make me more nervous.
Okay, understandable. Just so you know, all of your information is protected. What you say in these four walls won't leave these four walls.
Thank
Now,
you.
I do some documentation that is only shared with my staff. And if I need to share it with anybody else, you would have to sign a consent form. So you would know that it's going somewhere else.
Okay.
Okay. And you would have to give your approval, because if you don't, that's your choice, and we wouldn't be able to send it there. So this is a very safe place. Okay.
Okay.
You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to. Of course, the more I know about you and what's going on in your mind, possibly the more I can help you. And I think, initially that's going to be our goal, is just to decrease those feelings or learn how to deal with them when they show up. Okay, does that sound doable or
Sure.
feasible? Like, is that a
Sure.
good goal for you?
Yes, it makes me feel better that you don't talk to anybody else about what I tell you. That makes me feel comfortable.
What goals do you have in being here? Have you even thought about that? Or
Well, it's the big step for me to even to come here. And I certainly, my ultimate goal would be to have my son, me to be able to do something to make my grandson not take drugs anymore, but I know that I can't control that. So what I need to just accept what's going on, and be able to just function with what's happening and not have my mind dwell on that all the time.
Mhm. And over time, we will work on that and help you just with acceptance. I think that was a really good word. I'm not going to tell you, okay, you're not going to be worried anymore, because that's definitely a reason, an understandable reason to worry. Sometimes I understand you or other people may worry for no reason. So we'll learn to recognize that and what we can do about it. So let's see. And let me just get a little background on you too. Any medical problems?
No, I'm pretty healthy. I take care of myself. I go for walks with the dogs, and I eat right. And
Okay.
no, I'm healthy. I don't have really any medical problems. I don't take any other medications except for a vitamin. I'm very healthy.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Any history of depression or anxiety for any of your family members?
Well, I had an uncle that was in the war, and he was just never right when he came back from the war, but nobody really talked about him. He was my actually my great uncle, so we didn't really talk about him, but he was in a home for soldiers. But no one else in my family has been, in a asylum or a psychiatric hospital or gone for therapy that they've told me about.
Okay. Okay. And how about your daughter? Do you know, or your sons? Have they been diagnosed with depression or anxiety? Is she seeking help dealing with this current situation?
My daughter um, is going to a group for mothers and fathers of parents that have children that are addicted to drugs, and she says that that has helped her. I asked her if I could go, but she told me that that's her place, and
Okay.
she wouldn't feel comfortable sharing what she shares at the group in front of me, and I understand that. It's private.
Well, maybe we can find you another group that could
That might
become
be
your ally.
helpful. Yep.
Yeah, with like-minded people who understand what you're dealing
I
with.
don't think my friends at the senior center understand this at all. I
Okay.
don't think they do. And I don't like to talk about it. I'm I don't want to talk ill of my grandson.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. So in, respect of time, is there any questions or anything else I can tell you?
Um, what kind of things can you do for me? How can you help me? I mean, I feel better now that I talked to you, but what else can you do? I don't want to take a bunch of medicine.
No, and I'm not here to necessarily give you medicine. In fact, I would like to get to a point where you can be decreasing the amount of
Okay,
medicine you're currently on.
okay,
Not a good idea to take it long term, but you don't want to stop it suddenly. So we can work toward that if that's acceptable to you. Um, and there are lots of techniques that I know, the talking through it, but also just different, maybe little homework assignments to give you a chance to think about certain things and document, just write things down in a journal and
okay,
a lot of that is just getting it out. Sometimes just that is so much more helpful. But we'll definitely work on this, and I think initially more frequently than maybe later on we could space out the appointments. But I would like to see you weekly for a period of time, if that's okay with you.
okay. Yes, thank you very much. I would like to do that.
Okay, well, good. All right, so just make your next appointment out at the desk.
Okay,
All right,
thank you,
thank you.
Lisa. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.